Hey guys, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to take this leftover section from a butcher block countertop and turn it into an end grain cutting board. Typically, whenever you install a butcher block for a countertop, you always have to cut out the section for the sink, and that's exactly what this section is right here. Typically, it'll be gone to waste, or I could just trim it down and make a regular face grain cutting board. I decided I'm going to take this down and cut it into several strips with end grain facing, and then turn it all over to make an end grain cutting board. The first thing I need to do is actually square up all of my cuts, because originally when I cut this out for the sink, I used a jigsaw, so those cuts aren't perfect because the goal was just to get it to fit for the sink. So now I'm going to take my table saw and kind of take some slight slivers off of each side just to get everything nice and parallel, so that I can go in through the process of actually ripping and cutting everything down to make all my end grain cutting board blanks. But now that I actually have everything straight, the next thing I need to do is actually pull out my miter gauge, so that way I can start cross-cutting everything to the proper length. This is going to be about, I think I'm aiming for like an inch thick cutting board, so I believe I cut all these blanks or all these blocks to about 1.5 inches. That cut right there was just to get it the end squared so I can start cutting everything. What I'm going to actually use is my fence and a blocks clamped to it to make a stop block. That's a 3/4 inch block, so I had 3/4 inch, well, subtract 3/4 inches from my total overall fence reading, which will then give you my actual width. So I set my fence over to 1.5 inches plus 3/4, which is 2 1/4, and that'll give me a bunch of 1.5 inch offcuts because of the 3/4 inch spacer. By doing so like this, you want to make sure that your spacer is set before your blade, that way you don't get any binding or pinching as you go through this cut. But again, it's a nice and easy way to set up a stop block over on your table saw. But because of my miter gauge, I can only cut so many before it gets a little squirrely. So now I actually had to reset my fence so I can go into doing a rip cut by using one of the offcuts that I've already cut to set up my fence. And now I can make these last 3 rips, and know that everything's gonna be the exact same height. But then you can kind of see me sitting here rearranging everything, just looking at the end grain. And this is gonna be the general gist of it. But after cutting all these pieces, I realized that I had almost enough to make 2 full cutting boards because of how long it was. So what I'm actually gonna do is actually separate these sections into 2 different pieces and then add a border to make sure I get the final width of a cutting board that I want. I don't want them to be any less than like 14 inches tall. I think I was going to make this a 14 by 14 square. I think once I separate this section right here, I have like 2 10-inch sections. So what I decided to do is add a border all the way around each one of these 2 cutting boards. And here you see me just kind of flipping them end for end, looking at the end grain, seeing how I like them. I actually like it to where it's alternating, kind of like a checkerboard, because these are all glued up blanks if you look at the end grain of the original butcher block. But now that I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, the next thing I need to do is actually get general sizing, which that's what I'm doing here, trying to see exactly what I can get out of the material that I have now in front of me. I remember that initial rip that I had a section that was enough to actually make border pieces if I rip it in half again. So at this point, if you guys can't really see my face, but I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. So a lot of times when I come into the shop, I don't really have plans. I kind of just look at the scraps that I have and think, and I have a general idea of what I want to do, and then I try to see what I can do to make it possible. So here I finally made up the decision to make 2 individual end grain cutting boards along with all the other ones that I'm making. And you can kind of see about the size that they are, but here I'm deciding again if I add a border to all 4 sides, I can get it to the width and thickness that I actually want. But they do look really phenomenal. I actually like the look of the end grain cutting boards. I do wish that I threw in like some red cedar or something else in there. But I just had that off section of the sink cut out and trying to figure out what I can do with it, because it's been sitting in my shop for probably over 2 months now with no purpose, and now it actually looks like it has a purpose. Well, now we're into the glue up process, and the techniques that I use for this, I love using band clamps whenever I can, just to whenever I have to do like a square glue up like this, anything with miters, it makes it a lot easier, because trying to get clamps on all 4 corners and make sure they're all aligned, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So the first thing I want to do, initially I put out my ratchet clamps, set them on a table, and then I dry fit everything, and then I got the clamps to about the tightness that they need to be to fit perfectly around the fully assembled cutting board. You want to get those already kind of prepped before you start spreading glue, just to make sure that you're not in the middle of spreading glue and trying to fight with your clamps. You want all that kind of generally set for the most part to make this go a lot smoother and a lot easier. Also, I like to spread glue on the end grain and the miters just to make sure everything's going to actually glue up and stay solid, because you do have a lot of different grain direction going on with the end grain cutting board going upwards and you're trying to add a border to it. I could have added biscuits or dowels, but I didn't think this would be necessary because We have over 1.5 inches thick as far as the glue surface, and it's over the length of all this, so I think it's actually going to hold together just fine. I made sure all my miters were nice and tight, so I'm going to have glue contact going all the way around this assembly. I would say something different if the thickness was only like 1/2 inch and that was the only glue contact that I had making to the end grain cutting board, because a 1/2 inch glue line that can probably separate, but we have an 1.5 inch thick glue line going all around the perimeter. I think that's going to hold together just fine. It's been over about 2 months since the initial glue up and build of these cutting boards, and they're actually holding together just fine. So I think this worked out just good. And then after taking a rag to clean up all the excess glue squeeze out, that wet rag, once the wood gets wet, helps shows what it's going to look like with the finish on it. And I love the colors that actually came out of this. So if you guys have enjoyed this process, let me know down in the comments. Leave me a like and subscribe, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.